Wanna pull up in a Benzo, wanna pull up in a Range Rover. See, I'm not to be a man, no. You the fella, me.
Hello world, you are welcome to another episode of our mini series called Hello World, where we interview women from all over the world about whatever they are into and whatever lifestyle they practice. Today we have a wonderful guest, and she is in the person of Khat. Khat is an author and the victim of substance abuse, but she is on her recovery journey and she decided to write a book about it. During her therapy session, her therapist, Dr. Letitia, told her to write a journal and see the journal as the substance she was abusing. And through that, she was able to write this wonderful book called Her Diary of Sobriety, The Journey of a Recovering Pothead. We'll be talking to her shortly about what she learned from abusing a substance and her recovery process. Also, we'll talk about her writing career and share with us some tips, tricks, and some ideas on how to become a writer. So if you want to become a writer, this is the right interview for you.
Also, if you want to buy the book, check the link in the description box or send her a DM on her Instagram at Khat.
In order for us to be able to talk about the substance she was abusing, we will name the substance Mary J. So anytime we mention Mary J, you should know that we are talking about the substance in person. Let's get into the interview. Okay, morning, Khat. You are welcome to our mini series Hello World on our YouTube channel.
All right, thank you for having me.
First of all, let's say thank you to Dr. Letitia for making you write the journal and talking to the journal as the substance you were abusing, but in the form of writing. And because we were able to write this journal came out as a book that we all cherish and learn from. So how are you and how has your 2021 been so far?
I can only be grateful. I really can't help but to be grateful because, like, I've come from a place whereby I was almost giving up. Like, I was thinking I should just accept that I have a smoking habit, and it's going to be part of me for the rest of my life. And I'm very grateful that I've seen this day whereby I can say I'm in recovery, I'm in active recovery, and I'm not using anymore.
And I like the way Royal Temper had a say in the book. Like you wrote his part in his point of view, and you had your point of view. And I wanted to know how would you describe your experience with Mary J?
Well, it has been a vicious cycle to sum it up. It has been a vicious cycle because I can't say I went in informed. I just had some half-ass information here and there, and I felt like I could do this and stop by 1 year's time. I should be done. I just wanted it to get me out of my low place for a while, but then it turned out to be a vicious cycle. It was like I take it, I get fed up of always needing it. Then I try to stop. Then I relapse. Then I even go taking it much more than. It's been an abusive relationship with Mary J. To sum it up.
And I was trying to look at your healing process, and I had a question: is it better to do it alone, or with an accountability partner, or a help group? You see, sometimes they have something called help groups. Do we have something like that in Ghana here?
I just got to find one, the first one ever, and that was just last week that I found that there's actually a group for people like that, a community sort of thing. But when I was struggling, there was nothing like that, and I have tried doing it, like healing with a friend who was also desiring change, but that never worked for me. So for me, if you ask me personally, I would do it alone. If I'm to do it all over again, it would definitely be alone. And if anyone should ask for my advice, I'll say do it alone. because you are at that point in your life and you don't know where someone else is. Maybe they are not on your level of determination. So you
Yeah.
just, I think it's better to do it alone. Yeah.
Okay. And at what point did you realize you needed help?
Hmm. I I would say I realized I needed help at the point where it was my first thought in the morning. It was always my first thought every morning. I
Okay.
got that phase where first thing in the morning, I just, without even brushing my teeth or taking a shower, I just wanted to lay my hands on some Mary Jane and get high.
Mm.
And I realized that nah, that just wasn't right.
As you were trying to seek for help from people, um,
Mm-hmm.
how did you seek? How many people did you seek help from, and what was their response? Were they judgmental, or they willingly ready to help you?
Well, first of all, I like to say, I already got into this habit, knowing the kind of society that I'm in, and
Okay.
how people stigmatize drug users or something like marijuana users. So I never had that intention of trying to seek for help from anyone unless I knew the person could help me. And I never found anyone like that, like anyone who would I could talk to about marijuana and the person knew what to do to help me or something. So my help came from the internet. Yes,
Oh,
YouTube
okay.
to be specific. Yeah, YouTube to be precise. I There were times when I was just binging on YouTube, finding people who had also
Mm,
recovered from marijuana addiction, and it was uh, it was amazing. I found people with similar stories, like even though the people were outside Ghana mostly,
yeah.
similar stories, similar experiences, and that was really inspiring for me because it made me realize that I'm not alone.
Okay.
So I found several people from different countries on
Countries.
YouTube
Okay.
who had similar experiences as me, even though like we from different worlds, their stories, how they got
Mm,
into it, how they feel when they get high, how they are
okay.
feeling as they are trying to recover, and those who had recovered to their experiences were so similar. So it was very inspiring to find
Mm,
people like that, and that really motivated me to also do it because I found people who had done it. Yeah.
okay. And do you think Africa is ready to talk about mental health and addiction?
Yes. It's
You
not
feel?
going to be smooth. Yeah,
Okay.
obviously. It's not going to be smooth because I'm sure you and I know, for me, I know people who don't even believe in things like addiction or something. The only time they feel someone has a mental problem is when the person is mad, like literally
Yeah.
mad on the streets.
Yeah.
But for you, someone who knows your left from your right and you're okay, if you talk of mental problems, maybe someone will say you are fake or you are trying to be some kind of way, you're trying to be foreign or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then again, since I started creating my awareness of my journey
Yeah.
and my book on um, morning paths Instagram, I found
Mm.
several other even people from Ghana, not saying
Okay.
marijuana addiction per se, but then advocating for mental health issues and then trying to promote mental health awareness and stuff. So I think we are getting there, even though it's not on the large scale right now. We are getting there, and I think we are ready. A lot of people are, I mean, closeted
Yeah.
mental health advocates and or they are aware about it, but they don't really talk about it. But we are ready generally. That's what I think.
And after your recovery, do you have
Mm.
mental control on the addiction, or do you think you have a chance of going back to your struggle?
Well, one lesson I've learned in
Yeah.
this recovery journey is that it's not a destination.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
a lifetime journey. Yes, I'm living a life of recovery and a life of sobriety. So I know there are going to be lapses. I mean, I'm not hoping for them,
Yeah.
but it's part of the journey. Yeah, falling every now and then is part of the journey. Even though I feel like I've gained a lot of strength, mental toughness, and determination to do this, much more than I ever expected that I could even get. Yeah, but it's not a destination. I don't see
Okay.
myself ever getting to the place where I'll say I'm done.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
then
It's
every
true.
day I'm on the journey and I'm going to be striving.
Okay. And as I was reading your book, there was a part where
Mm,
Dr. Letitia took you to her church, and the pastor was
yeah.
saying all sorts of things to make you feel bad, and she squeezed your hand
Mm-hmm.
to give you some sort of encouragement. Do you think
Yeah.
the way pastors preach at church can make someone feel confused or not have the ability to even start a recovery journey?
Definitely. Definitely.
Yeah. But when I
Definitely.
was reading that part, I felt the pain because he was
Hmm.
I don't know what word to use, but he was
Insensitive.
chastising, yes, he was chastising the people who are struggling and even other behaviors. But
Yeah.
imagine someone being there who is struggling and you are saying this. The person will not even come to church again.
I mean, this is like the book I've written
Yeah.
is partly fiction and then mostly true story. But the
Okay.
fiction part is just to like enable the story to come out
Mm-hmm.
very nice and readable. Yeah.
Okay.
But this particular thing, I didn't experience it dito, but I've had several encounters like that in
Mm-hmm.
several churches or with several
Okay.
pastors. I'm not sure. Maybe you should tell me, but I think I have an innocent face. Do I?
Yeah. Yes, you do have an innocent.
Okay, so and even now I feel I've grown and stuff, so I'm looking more
Oh
mature or
no,
whatever.
you haven't changed
But
at all.
when I okay, that's good to know. That's
Yeah.
good to know. But when I was like really, really in the depths of my addiction, I
Okay.
was looking very young and
Okay.
vibrant. I
Okay.
mean, you and I did our national service together,
Yeah.
and you saw the way I was. Did I look
Mm.
anything like an addict? No,
No, no.
but that was when I was in the depth. That was
Okay.
actually when I was in the depth of my addiction.
Okay.
So during that time, I would go to church or I'll meet a pastor. They'll just like profile me as a good girl or someone who's living a decent life, and then
Mm.
they'll start. By the time you realize the conversations can easily get towards um, chastising people who use drugs, we smokers. They say it with so much spite and intolerance. Sorry,
Yeah.
like those who drink alcohol, those who smoke weed, and those
Mm.
kind of thing. Because they can easily say it to me because I look like someone who doesn't do that. But it was very difficult because I was actually doing it, and then I'll be hearing all this. Time. It makes me
Yeah.
sometimes feel like it's like it hits me at where my self-worth is because this
Mm.
is something I'm doing and they just like it's not fair. It's not fair. I
Yeah.
feel like addiction is not a crime to be punished.
Yeah, it's
It's a
true.
condition and a struggle whereby if you want to do something about it, then you should support people to be able to come out of addiction. Because mostly at the root of addiction is trauma. A lot
Yeah.
of people do not really say, okay, I'm traumatized, so I'm getting into addiction. But subconsciously it's the trauma and those hidden issues that pushes us to seek relief, that pushes us to try to escape reality because it's just too much of what we don't
Yeah.
want and we just want something, yeah, to feel free and feel like everything is okay. And that's one of the positive sides of Mary J. Like at least it gives you that relief for that
Mm.
moment. So for churches, a lot of churches, I know there might be some sensitive pastors and church leaders out there,
Yeah.
but the average ones I've come into contact with, most of them, they are very intolerant and unaccepting of
Mm-hmm.
these behaviors. And if you are not mentally strong yourself, you might even feel like you are an outcast in the society. You might be going to church and you feel like you don't belong, because when it comes to other sins, they say it with laughter, light,
Yeah.
and all that kind of thing. But when it comes to these ones, which I don't even know if they are sins, they say it with so much spite and stuff.
Mm.
So yeah, that's one thing our society we need to really look at.
And as I was reading the book, I kept on
Mm.
thinking, you see, the older generation believe in spiritual things. So, from your
Yeah.
experience, which one do you think is we should focus more on? Speaking to maybe a mental health expert or a therapist, or we should go in the spiritual direction, which is, pray, fast, let's deliver the person, those kind of things.
No, not at all. A very big no to the spiritual side,
Yeah.
because spirituality is just something that you can never know.
Mm-hmm.
If you've had the experience yourself, even with that one, it could be psychosis, it could be like things that you cannot explain, maybe a medical condition you cannot explain.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
How
it's
much
true.
more if someone you don't know what's going on inside a person's mind is trying to lead you on a spiritual
Uh,
deliverance or something? No, 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 no. I think it's very physical.
yeah,
The
it's
thing
true.
is physical, the substance is physical. What pushes you to go and do it are physical situations that you've been through. So if you want to come out, it should be the physical way. You see a therapist, you read books, self-help books, you
Yeah.
sit with yourself, and yeah, I mean, encourage yourself, you get listen to motivation and stuff, because it's not common here to get like a therapist to just hold your hand and help you. So it's unfortunate, but like me, I had to come out from it by myself. And I'm not saying I've come out from it, but I hope I have. Yeah. And
Okay.
the spiritual side, no, I wouldn't
No.
encourage anybody to go down that lane at all. It's
Mm-hmm.
like you're trying to even deepen your delusions.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's true.
like you're trying already, you're escaping reality, and now you're trying to like deepen your delusions. I mean,
Mm,
I wouldn't downplay prayer, even
yeah,
though for that one it's so personal. It got to a time I was even that desperate, and I prayed. I
yeah.
mean, I told God that I just want to be sober. I just want to stop needing this thing. But that's a personal thing. It's between me and my
And
God.
yeah, it's
So
true.
yeah, I'm not going to tell anybody to go see someone to help you and all that. No.
As you said, that Africans are ready to embrace mental health awareness. Do you think
Mm.
therapy is expensive? That's why people are just trying to prevent that.
Yeah, obviously. It's a paid service.
Mm,
Already, addiction is an expensive habit,
it is.
depending on the substance you are doing. And even whatever substance can be a gateway to more, because releasing dopamine, if like inducing excessive dopamine in your system all the time, you are going to be needing more and more and more to achieve that level of highness. Yes. So it's going to get expensive, and it's also sad. Like you need compassion. You don't need to still be like paying money. I mean, if you can afford it, great. But a lot of us barely get by. So when we become victims to some substance that is taking over our life, and we are now supposed to pay for additional treatment, talk less of the physical effects of the drug itself.
Yeah.
For example, with Mary J, I had coughs. It got to a time when I was really, 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 really into it. I could like cough in ways that me myself, I'll be scared. Like,
Yeah, it's in the
wow, this is
book.
not how I cough.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is not how I cough. But I mean, that's another medical bill. Now you have
It's
your teeth.
true.
You're always introducing smoke into your mouth. You have your teeth becoming discolored. You have to go to dentist. You have your eyes reddening. You have to get dragged. You have your skin because of the smoke. You have to take extra care of your skin, your lips, and
Yeah.
all that. So it's an expensive habit, and we need help considering where we are. Even all over the world, I'm sure there are people who just need help. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
so
true.
it's also part. The cost of therapy is will be a part that people might not
Mm.
want to seek help.
Yeah, it's true. And what role did you play personally in your recovery? Yeah.
I'm very, very proud of myself for how far I've been able to come. Yes, because it was 80% me. Honestly, I pulled myself out with the help of those who were very generous with their information on the internet. So
Yeah.
for the role, I played a huge role in it.
Since you've written a book, there will be some questions where we'll ask you
Mm-hmm.
about your writing career. And
Okay.
we both attended the same secondary school. I didn't know you were
Yeah.
writing, yeah, behind the scenes. But I remember after we completed school, you wrote a short story about reincarnation online. I've been trying to find
Yeah.
that story. I can't find it. I don't know why. So
I
if
mean,
you
I
can,
also have to dig to find it.
yeah, because yesterday I was trying to look for it. I've even forgotten the title, but I know it was about reincarnation.
Reincarnation.
Yeah. Okay. So what is the reason behind your pen name, Morning Cat?
Okay, so
Yeah.
Morning Cat Morning Cat came as a result of me making effort to recreate myself. Yes.
Okay.
Reading a lot of self-help books, I came to realize that it's important for me to recreate myself because as humans, we are born blank, right?
Yeah.
At least that's what I believe. And we get to soak up a lot of things as we are growing up. And some of the things we do not really question.
Yeah.
And it forms our personalities. Yeah, without us really, if we really had control of our minds, most of us have been religiously indoctrinated in this society and all that. So if we really had total control over all our decisions, maybe would turn out different. So at the point when we start to really think about recreation, we have to. I think, well, personally, let me talk for myself. I think we
Okay.
have to consider a lot of things, even our name and all that, how we want to be known, because our name is like something that people mention a lot. Even we
Yeah.
ourselves, we introduce ourselves to
Self
people.
is true.
So when it comes to my writing career, I decided to give myself a name because my parents never wished for me to turn out as a writer,
Oh,
but
okay.
that is my own desire for myself. So I want to give myself a pseudonym because of also the area that I've covered. See me with my name on the book and say, "Oh, how dare you? Do you have the authority to write this?" But with a fresh name, at least it gives the idea that this is a new personality and it raises curiosity. So to answer your question,
Yeah.
morning cat comes from obviously the word morning, and it's because I found out that I am a morning person.
Yeah.
My creative juices flow in the mornings. When I
Mm,
wake up in the morning, I can really do a lot when it comes to creativity as compared to afternoons or evenings. So I decided to call myself morning. And the cat is like a joint something of my favorite pet, which is a cat,
yeah.
and then
Like,
also my yeah, my identity in addiction. So cat, KHAT, is actually a drug. which
Okay.
also can be addictive, and it helps people to escape reality. So I wouldn't like to call myself weed, like morning weed, just because it was weed that I was
Yeah.
addicted to. But cat being like, I just like the name because it
Yeah.
reminds me of my favorite pet and also my identity in addiction. So putting those two together, I got morning cat, and I felt like it's a name I would like to use.
Shout outs to your cat, Coffee. I like his personality
Yeah,
so much.
coffee brown,
Yeah.
shady cat.
Yeah. How did you feel when you published and launched your book? How did you feel? I can see that you were very
Oh,
excited.
I was.
Yeah.
I was very excited. I was very excited. It was a dream come true. I've been
Yeah.
wanting this like for I can't even remember. I've been wanting this. I mean, I remember I used to tell my dad, "Oh, I want to be a writer," but you know, like our typical parents,
Yeah.
they'll tell you, "No, get a real career. Anybody can write and all that." But I mean, I've really gotten to the point where I think I'm getting to know exactly what I want and
Mm-hmm.
going for it. And this is one of them, to be an author and have my own book,
Yes.
my first book on the shelf that actually means something to me. Yes.
Yes. And even though you always wanted to be a writer, did you ever know that this kind of self-help book or autobiography kind of book would be your first book to be launched?
No, no. It was a coincidence,
Oh,
a good
okay.
one at that. Actually, I had a manuscript for fiction. You know, I used to post my fiction stuff online because
Yeah.
that's what I'm kind of into. So I had a
Okay.
manuscript for fiction. I wanted to come out with that story. I still might, but for now, I feel like we as a continent or as a country or society, we really have a lot of healing to do because of I think the trickling effect of our colonial mentality and all that. Collectively, we have healing to do. So
Yeah.
we, the readers, we need to go into self-help and put out the informations we've had that have changed our lives, so that people can easily pick it up and also run with it, and it will help us. So that's why I decided to go with this with no
Yeah.
doubt.
Okay. And we would like you to share your self-care routine.
My self-care routine.
Yeah.
Okay, so well, since I'm in recovery,
Yeah.
some of the things I do every morning when I wake up is skipping. Do skipping every day. I try to add 50 extra skips
Ooh.
when there's the energy. I also do planks in the morning. Yeah, and a few sit-ups. Yeah, then at times I use bentonite clay or ayilo, as we know it, as
Yeah.
a face mask before I take a
Okay.
shower. And I also love to drink lime water during the day. So
Okay.
aside that, moisturizing and hydrating, I
Mm.
guess that's all I do.
Okay. And what does it mean to live intentionally?
Living intentionally is literally what it is. To live, to be present in my moments, not zoning out, to make sure that as much as possible I'm not zoning out, and at every moment my decisions are mine. Like if I'm going somewhere, it's not because someone wants me to go, but because I've really thought about it and I feel like I want
Yeah.
to. Anything I'm doing, even with eating, like not following strict rules, like I have to eat breakfast, lunch, and supper, but am I hungry? Then I eat, or is my stomach empty? Is my stomach full? Even though it's time for lunch, if I'm full, I don't have to still eat by force. So that's like bringing intention to all my actions as much as I can. That's living intentionally.
When did you first realize you wanted to be a writer?
I think it's been years, maybe 20 years. I can't. It's been several years because I started journaling at the age of 8. Yeah, when I was 8, that's when I started journaling. get my annual diaries, and I started to journal. So that's when the desire started to build in me to become a writer one day. So yeah.
And what do you like to do when you are not writing?
When I'm not writing,
Yeah, your hobbies.
for fun or okay, yeah. For hobbies, I'm a movies person. I
Mm-hmm.
love to watch cool movies. Yeah, especially comedies. I
Yeah.
love laughing at funny things, and
Mm-hmm.
I also love to listen to music.
Okay.
I love to listen to music, to sing. I also love eating. So these are my hobbies.
We would like you to share with us your writing schedule. How do you start? How do you get that from when you get the idea to when you pen down the idea?
Okay, so it mostly starts as a journal entry. I have
Okay.
at the moment my journaling has grown so much. So I have at least 10 different journals on different areas of my life. So when it comes to my writing, maybe if it's something I wrote in my self-discovery journal,
Yeah.
and as like I'm going about my day-to-day activities, then I get an idea or something, if something suggests something, then I decide to okay write it down. But most of the time it's in the mornings. If I have, let's say, a
Okay.
project before me, like the way I decided to write my book, it's in the mornings, first thing in the morning. I get that out of the way so that I can be relaxed with my writing. Yeah, I don't love to put my writing on schedule unless
Okay.
I have a particular project before me. Yes.
Okay.
But aside that, I want it to be like a free thing. Whenever I have something to write, then I go and write it.
Now to our final question, which will involve two answers. So, any
Okay.
advice to someone who wants to start a writing career, and any advice to someone who is struggling out there with any form of addiction?
I think anybody who wants to start a writing career, one of the advices that I got from, I think that was Stephen King in one of his talks, it was
Okay.
like, you need to have to want to write. It shouldn't be like a work for you, like something that, like, I mean, you don't have anything to write about, but you really want to, maybe because of income or something like that. But you need to have to want to. So let's say you have a story to tell, you have ideas, you have the flair for the writing, and as you go through your day-to-day life, they are coming at you, so you want to write them down. So after that
Okay.
stage, I'm not saying writing should be so lax. Yes, so after that is out of the way, the desire part is um concrete for you, then you can have a schedule. Maybe give yourself an hour or 30 minutes or more in a day, a particular time where you sit down and try to turn your ideas and stuff into something readers will love.
Yeah.
So that's what I'll tell someone who wants to write. And for someone who wants to come out of an addiction, I think you need to look into more self help. You have
Okay.
to be healed. You have to look into the concept of healing. You have to look at the concept of the shadow. You have to make peace with all parts of yourself, because it's most likely a trauma that you are trying
Yeah.
to run away from, that always makes you feel like you need a substance that is so strong that it will take you out of your normal feeling. But you need to embrace this normal feeling. You need to embrace boredom. You need to embrace anger, embrace happiness, everything, because it's all part of life, and that's what brings spice into our lives. It's not always maybe something tough for you to, I mean, get all the help you can get. Me, I'm available. I'm really available to give back in that way. I will talk to you. I will share with you any information. Just get in touch with me on Instagram, Morning Pat, and I'll be there for you.
Okay.
So that's what I have to tell anyone.
Okay. Thank you so much for answering this interview. And I wish you
Thank
all
you
the
for
best.
having me.
I wish you all the best in everything that you do.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So much for watching. I hope to see you in the next episode of Hello World, which is a mini series right here where we talk to women from all over the world about their careers and their lifestyle. So I'll see you in my next episode or in my next video.